Gatewood,
Present.
Mrs. Johnson,
Present.
Mrs. Kroner,
Here.
Dr. Marino,
Present.
Mrs. Simulton,
Present.
Mrs. Swanson.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to thank the public for attending tonight's meeting. We value the feedback we receive from our residents and encourage everyone to take an active interest in their public school system. Residents interested in speaking to the board this evening are asked to have completed a comment card and presented it to the secretary to the board. When the secretary calls your name, I ask that you come to the microphone, state your name for the public record, and provide your feedback. Please note that comments are limited to 3 minutes per person for a total of 30 minutes. No discussion of personnel matters or responses to questions are permitted. The board does not participate in discussion during public comment. If your questions or concerns require follow-up, a member of the administration will reach out through the contact information provided on the comment card. Thank you.
Deborah Van Troy.
Sit here.
Yes.
So Deborah Fanjoy, my daughter is a student at Bednar-Sick and she attends math in the mornings at OE. What we were hoping to inquire about, and I certainly understand there isn't going to be a comment, but the bus situation and wondering what sort of the plan is going forward. I did a little tracking over the last 20 days, so it's 4 months, not including October 11th, but including today. And our route, which is 8103, has been over 18 minutes late on average. That's not including a day where it didn't come, no call. There was only one day out of the 20 where the bus came on time. So I guess we just felt important to come. I know that we can sort of accommodate this, but I know not everybody can at this time. So we wanted to kind of take the time and make a comment.
Great, thank you.
That's all I have. Thanks.
That's all.
That's all?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will now have board member comments. Yep. I just want to acknowledge that it is National Principals Month, and I want to acknowledge all of our wonderful principals in all of our schools. They have really been amazing and working so hard this school year with our TA shortages. They've been jumping into the classrooms, and they have been all hands on deck, and I really want to recognize all of them and thank them very much for all that they do.
I have a comment. Actually wrote it down this time. In light of the recent tragedy here at Oswego East this past week, the complications and stresses of my life seem very insignificant. However, in an effort to be as transparent to the community as possible, I wanted to let everyone know what is happening with my family. My husband has verbally accepted a job offer within his company that will take us out of state. While we have begun the very complicated process of relocation, my 2 boys who are still SD 308 students and myself will be here at least through the end of December. The board has already begun discussing the process of filling the vacancy that my relocation will leave, and information on what that process will involve will be forthcoming to the community. I'm still fully committed to my role as a board member until such time as I no longer reside within the district, Any and all prayers for our family as we go through this process are appreciated.
Thank you, Bruce. Any other board member comments?
Yep, sorry, I'm breathing slow, getting to the mic, sorry. Ruth, just know that your loss will be felt.
Thank you. We'll have board committee reports, starting with the equity committee.
So Ruth and I, who co-chair the Equity Board Advisory Committee, met for the second time in the school year last week. And in the first meeting, we did okay and confirm our equity statement. And one of the things that we talked about within that context was, what now? What do we do with those statements? You know, they're a living and breathing document. And you know, our committee wants to see those statements reflected and posted and made a part of our students and our staff's professional development, as well as their learning experience. And so we expected that those kinds of things will happen as we go forward. And then at our last meeting, we had an opportunity to have a presentation around student achievement data and the plans for improvement in that regard. And one of the things that our committee found that presentation so enlightening and of value, because it's about how are we, what students may not be benefiting from the way we're educating all students. And so it's important for us to see the data. And the data was a representation on the disparities in achievement when it comes to disaggregating data from as it relates to race and gender. And so we talked through a lot about, you know, how we educate our students when it comes to gender and race. And they've identified and have a lot of suggestions around what that looks like and how we can improve our data. Because, you know, we discussed for a significant period of time this idea of achievement gap. And, you know, the term achievement gap is can be of a disservice to students because it doesn't recognize the opportunity gaps and the expectation gaps that exist. And so it does a disservice to our students. You know, there are, you know, when it comes to equity, there are disparities in equity that exist in policy and practice. And so we want to make sure that we're identifying the inequities within our system to make sure that all of our students are benefiting from the way we're educating them. So the data and the presentation was very enlightening, and these are the kinds of things that we want to continue to bring to our Equity Board Advisory Committee and then to our district so that we move forward and that all of our students get the education that they deserve.
Can I ask a quick question? Will that report be made available to us and even presented to the public?
It is a preview that we did with that committee, what will be presented to the whole board on November 15th.
Finance and Facilities Committee.
We met on Monday. Eugene, I'll take it since you were out of town unavoidably. And we had a good meeting. Dr. Petsky is, you can tell he's a teacher. He came at us with like an actual lesson plan. It was pretty fun. But we walked through the basics of facility maintenance plan and just kind of did some exercises to kind of get everybody thinking about what we didn't have the last time. And it was a first in our district the last time, and that work can't be understated at the fact that that was the first time we'd ever had anything like this. but just what would we do differently now that we know a little bit more? And what would we like to see coming out of this report? It was a good meeting, a lot of discussion. And then at the end, we touched a little bit on the tax levy. And we talked about the fact that a lot of this work that we're doing isn't going to be how we had done it in the past, where we would hit one topic each year, one meeting, and be done, but just that we would keep circling back around, much like a lot of our teaching happens in the world now. I hear we circle around with things. So it was a good meeting. A lot of people had a lot of opinions, and always fun over there in facilities and finance. Oh, and we met with architects too. They were great.
Thanks, Lori.
I thought that's
Policy and Legislative Committee?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. All right. So we had 6 policies that were just legal references, which didn't make it on the report today, but they'll be coming through. We had 10 policies that the committee went through and were ready to send through. Then we had 6 that we just required some clarification on before we brought them forward to the board. There's a couple that we pulled to hold. We had some questions on language and how the wording was intended. You know, like we had some questions on intent. And we had some questions on boosters. And that pretty much sums it up. Great group.
It was a very, we had a lot to cover, and Allie was insistent that we get it all done, so we worked like a machine that day. And
It was not me, it was Val.
but we covered a lot, and it was a very productive meeting, and it was our first meeting, so we're a meeting behind kind of everyone else. But it's an incredibly thoughtful group of people, so we had great discussion, but we moved very succinctly.
Awesome. And now for our superintendent's report.
Well, thank you, Dr. Marino, and good evening, board. I have many items to share this evening. Tonight, I start my comments on a very sad note. As you all know, last Friday, we lost Oswego East senior Mark Chapas. We are deeply saddened by Mark's death, and our hearts and support go out to his family and friends as they grieve his loss. He will be greatly missed by friends, teachers, the staff at OE, and throughout our community. The tragedy and the loss of someone so young impacts us all, and healing requires both time and effort. The death of a student can create a challenging and difficult time and a high level of anxiety and stress for some of our students. Over the weekend, today, and throughout the week, we have additional counselors, psychologists, and social workers at the school to speak with students and staff that need someone to talk with. Parents, please also consider monitoring your children's social network, cell phone, email, text, to further assess their potential needs. And together, we extend a heartfelt sympathy to Mark's family. Our thoughts are with them during this most difficult time. As you mentioned, this week is Principal Appreciation Week, and since 1990, the Governor of Illinois has designated a full week in October as Principal Appreciation Week, and Governor Pritzker has proclaimed the week of October 25th through the 30th as Principal Appreciation Week, and October 29th, Friday, as Principal Appreciation Day. So I wanted to also take this opportunity to thank all of our principals for everything they do day in and day out for our students, staff, community, and community of SD 308. To have great schools, we need to have great principals, and that's exactly what we have. Our principals are examples of great leaders, so please join me in recognizing our 308 principals this week. So send your principal an email, a thank you card, and let them know how good a job that they're doing. Last Friday was Bus Driver Appreciation Day, so I'd also like to publicly thank our bus drivers, what they do each and every day for our students here in District 308. For many of our students, the bus drivers are the first and the last the district employees to see our kids. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to ride a lot of the buses and the routes, and to watch our students and our drivers interact with each other. So this evening, I'd like to again thank them for their good work. On Friday, October 15th, at the Crosstown game, we announced the winners of the annual food drive. So congratulations to Oswego East, Trauber Junior High, and Churchill Elementary on bringing in the most dollars and items for this year's food drive. It was another record-setting year. Also, congratulations to the OHS Boys Cross Country team on winning the SPC Conference Championship, and they are ranked number 3 in the state. That's a big deal for this team. This weekend, they have won the IHSA Regional Championship for the first time since 1991 and have advanced to the IHSA Sectional. So congratulations to the boys cross country team. Congratulations to girls cross country runner Audra Soderland, who won the SPC Conference Championship race. The girls cross country team took 6th at the IHSA Regional and they qualified to move on to the Sectional. And our girls swim and dive also won the SPC Conference Championship this week as well, so congratulations to all our girls in swim and dive. On Friday of last week, I was informed that Ella Schrader, a junior at OHS, not only earned a 5 on her AP seminar exam, which is quite an accomplishment, she earned a perfect score. I was told that approximately 55,000 students took the AP seminar exam from around the world, and Ella was one of 33 who scored perfectly. So congratulations to Ella, her parents, Ms. Keto, and all of her teachers who helped her in this wonderful achievement. Ella, we are very proud of you. And my final announcement for this evening is to share that Heather Kincaid, Executive Director of Accountability in High School Education, successfully defended her doctoral dissertation last Tuesday night and is now Dr. Kincaid. Congratulations on this outstanding accomplishment, Dr. Kincaid, and that is my report this evening, so thank you.
And now we'll hear from our student ambassadors.
Good evening, everyone. We have a couple of things that we want to address tonight. First and foremost, on behalf of the OEHS and the OHS student bodies, Colton and I extend our thoughts and condolences to the Chappas family and to the entire SD308 community. We hope that, as a community, we're able to support each other during this difficult time. Following the board meeting on the 12th, the Student Advisory Committee virtually met to finalize the survey and confirm it among our members. We administered it officially on the 20th, last Wednesday, in both OEHS and OAHS during student support time. We're currently analyzing the results to gauge the thoughts of our respective student bodies on the academic structure, social climate, and school organization of our district as of now. We're hoping to organize our responses in a manner that will best relay the needs and concerns of our students to the Board of Education, which will hopefully encourage our primary goal of illuminating student voice at a greater, more influential level. However, we also received feedback on the structure of the survey itself from our students, and as the student ambassador, I'm hoping to address these concerns directly to ensure that future projects to understand student voice will be done in a manner that is more widely accepted by the student bodies. Overall, the survey was our first attempt at a means of connecting our students to our Board of Education, of highlighting their thoughts about the district, our schools, and our policies, and Colton and I are confident that this is a great stepping stone to help our advisory committee and us as student ambassadors understand what our students need when it comes to making sure their voices are adequately heard. In the future, Colton and I hope to discuss prominent ideas and exigencies of our student bodies as indicated by the survey and develop further plans for gaining an understanding of student voice. Thank you.
Thank you. We're really looking forward to seeing the results of the survey and hearing from our students. So thank you.
Can you share what some of your concerns were about
So I did receive a couple of specific comments, and of course this isn't everything. I'm hoping to get in touch with a couple more students to get a little bit more details. We had established a ranking system so we can identify the most prominent and most widespread concerns among our students, but this ranking system did not seem to be taken well by a lot of the students. They felt it was pressuring them to take a certain degree of importance for each issue, and that's definitely something that we understand. That's something that I definitely want to address for future projects, like I said, and I think this was a great opportunity for us as the Student Advisory Committee to learn what we'll do in the future. Another one was how they addressed the gender questions, things on sexuality, identity, and creating it in a more sensitive way or a way that's more accepting for different kinds of individuals. And as someone who is attempting to represent the student body of OEHS and for Colton who's representing the OHS student body as well as possible, this is also something that I feel is really important for the survey that we want to implement. So those are two big things that I definitely heard, but I'm trying to get in touch with a couple more students to understand other concerns or things that they even liked about the survey so far.
Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I make a motion to approve all items under consent, including 6.1, minutes from the October 7th, 2021 special closed Board of Education meeting, and the October 12th, 2021 Board of Education meeting, open and closed session.
Second.
Mrs. Simulton?
Aye.
Dr. Marino?
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson?
Aye.
Mrs. Croner?
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle?
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson?
Aye. All right, motion passes 7-0.
Item 7.1 is an annual information item. The calendar committee came together on October 6th to discuss the 22-23 school calendar. The recommendations that are presented tonight are the recommendations for the 22-23 calendar, and they come from that committee. So I would just ask the board if there are any questions on the draft calendar that has been presented. All right, hearing none. Item 7.2 is an informational item in regards to some proposed new high school courses for the 22-23 school year. And tonight, Dr. Kincaid, Executive Director of Accountability and High School Education, is here to present. So Dr. Kincaid, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So what I'm here to do is to discuss 4 new courses currently being proposed by the high school with the new graduation requirements that were approved during the summer. The focus of the courses that we're going to look at tonight is really on completing 4-year sequencing. So now that there will be a little bit more flexibility with our electives, the first course that we are looking to present is Theater Directing 2. What the Fine Arts Department is recommending is that we eliminate theater foundations so that we now have 3 distinct pathways in addition to, during the 4th year, internship or directed study. So as a freshman, a student interested in theater and arts would come in and take the acting or technical theater sequence, and then would take the Theater Directing 1 and 2. All of these courses are a semester long, and with this new course, what we would have is a pathway for acting, a year-long sequence for technical theater, 1 for theater directing, and then the opportunity for the 4th year to be internship and directed study. So the proposal for tonight that we will look at for action in our next meeting is to eliminate theater foundations, which was essentially kind of a smattering and a course that covered a little bit from those 3 categories, but this will give us 3 distinct pathways. So we're looking to add Theater Directing 2. The next course that we're looking for is a junior-senior Kinetic Wellness elective. So we currently have Advanced Dance 1. So we're looking to add Advanced Dance 2. So we're in our in our Kinetic Wellness, we currently have a variety of junior-senior PE options. Students during junior-senior year can take any of the courses that are shown. They have the ability to move within courses, but what we've seen is the dance program growing over the last few years, and we're looking to extend that experience for the students, so the students could in effect take dance all year long, and Advanced Dance 2 could be repeated during senior year. So students that this is their passion and would like to do this within Kinetic Wellness could take Advanced Dance 1 and 2 junior year and continue senior year. The third course that we're looking to implement is PLTW, so Project Lead the Way Cybersecurity. What this does is now make our computer programming sequence a 4-year sequence. So students have the ability to take computer programming 1 and 2. Both of those courses are 1 semester as a freshman. Then we have currently the opportunity to take AP Computer Science Principles and AP Computer Science. So what we're looking to do is add PLTW Cybersecurity. So this will complete the 4-year pathway in computer science. Students have the flexibility. They could take PLTW Cybersecurity or AP Computer Science junior or senior year. This course would be an honors course. It would count for honors weighting. There would be a course fee of $20. And then with the course, we do have Pltw fees, just like our other Pltws. We currently have publicly degree courses in engineering, biomedical science, and computer science. So that cost would include both the Pltw fee and then the secure server needed for cybersecurity. And then the training fee is a one-time training fee for that teacher. And that is similar to all Project Lead the Ways. All of our courses that we have currently implemented, we have training that the teachers attend through the Pltw program. And then the last course that we are proposing right now is Calculus 3. What this does for our double accelerated math students is it offers a 4th year. Currently, our double Excel students take Honors Algebra 2 as a freshman, Honors Pre-Calc as a sophomore, AP Calc BC as a junior, and this would be the 4th year for them. This would be a dual credit course through Wabansi. What is really good about this course is it not only has IAI course transferability, so the IAI is Illinois Articulation Initiative, which allows any of those dual credit courses to, in a sense, mandate or have the students earn credit for those courses. But what's really good about the Cal 3 course is it also has IAI major course. So it wouldn't count just for elective credit as they transfer into a community college or college within Illinois. It would actually count as a major course. So the thing is, the prereq would be AP Calculus BC. Our BC course right now, students earn credit in both Calc 1 and Calc 2, as opposed to Calc AB, which is just Calc 1. So the prerequisite is AP Calc BC because Calc 1 and Calc 2 are prerequisites. This course would also count as an honors course. And then there would be some costs in terms of professional development and preparing for course implementation. So these are the 4 courses that we are proposing at this time. Again, our upcoming timeline is we took and talked with the Teaching and Learning Committee earlier this month. We're here today to talk about courses, again, to implement for next year. We will come back on November 15th for action. We will then release our student course catalog on November 16th. Then we will start the student course request window. Then our students meet with the counselors. We look at our course requests. We determine what courses we're running. And then we send all of that information home to our parents to make sure everybody is aware, and then we finalize our course requests. So this is our current timeline, and everybody should be anticipating some information out in the next few weeks about course registration for the 2023 school year.
Did you have any, oh, sorry, I couldn't see. No, after you.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank you so much. We're so polite here today. Heather, Dr. Kincaid, what kind of feedback did you get and adjust based on the Teaching and Learning Committee's input?
So what I did more research about was the fees. There were some questions about the PLTW fees that we currently pay. So I do have some information about that. During the committee, we talked a lot about where did the proposals come from. So if you would like, all of the course proposals are linked and came from teachers. So that would be primarily what we discussed was the funding, the fees, and kind of the nature of the course proposal developments.
Can I piggyback on that? So my oldest took Project Lead the Way, and we were able, you take a test at the end of the year, and you're able to actually get credit from University of Iowa?
So there's a few colleges in the Midwest that
Okay, that accept it. I mean, NIU and Campbell both accepted it. But, so my question is is that still available for the cybersecurity?
So I can bring that back for next time. It has changed over the last 3 to 4 years what school and how much credit, so I can make sure that I have that information.
I will add to that, Ally, in that my oldest son also did Project Lead the Way, and he received a fairly decent scholarship that will renew automatically every year just for participating in Pltw.
A lot of those kids go into engineering. And then my other question is the same question I've been having for 20 years about kinetic wellness. So I know that Excel is a junior, it's like 3, I think. Excel is a junior senior option, but you have some freshmen and sophomore who are elite athletes, whether it's gymnastics or hockey or wrestling or whatever it is. I know it's forever been a struggle to get those kids in Excel as an actual gym class. So has that changed over the last, it's been a while since I've been in the high school.
So it has not, and the reason why is I have not had to be, I have not had the conversation about 9th and 10th in Excel, but what I see of our current freshman and sophomore pathways is freshman year is, PE foundations that's based on the current kinetic wellness and PE standards in the state of Illinois and health, and then junior year is 10-1 and 10-2, again, based on standards, and that's where they incorporate hands-on CPR based on Lauren's law, so, but
can we also talk about it, since if you have a 3-sport athlete, you can opt out of PE?
You can waiver, if you are a 3-sport waiver, absolutely you can waiver out. That went into effect 2 years ago, I believe. So that is a possibility as a 3-sport waiver to waiver out of PE. So you still have
to waiver into Excel.
I would have to have more conversations.
Again,
with
clearly
our,
you don't want every freshman and sophomore
our
there, but you
kinetic
have
wellness
some athletes who are pretty talented athletes throughout this district, whatever sport it is, I don't care if it's bowling. There are some pretty talented kids who could benefit from Excel instead of.
I have not had those conversations. I would need to have those conversations.
I'm just doing my little sorry. I will say, first of all, congratulations. It's a lot on top of everything else that you're dealing with this year that's very inspirational, so congratulations. But we did, if you notice up there, like under advanced dance too, it's highlighted. We did make Dr. Kincaid walk us through all of the referrals that came through, so we went through all of that very in-depth and very thoroughly, just to answer Mrs. Doyle's question.
I will also add that one thing that you had mentioned tonight in the presentation, and I can't remember if we discussed this in the Teaching and Learning Committee or not, but you made a mention about the calculus class and how that class will be accepted as major credit, and I think it's important to make that distinction that not every AP class that students take, regardless of their, what score they get, oftentimes if it is subject that will be in their major in college, which is likely because that's generally, you take AP classes and things that you are interested in and will lead towards your future major, that a lot of times the AP credits, while they do count as a credit, which can help you save money, it doesn't generally count towards your major. You have to use it as an elective. And just my personal opinion on that, and not to say that my child took my advice or not, but is like, that's the fun stuff in college. Like, your opportunity to take a class that's maybe a little bit less pressure and something that just kind of sounds interesting and fun. But I do like that this would count towards a student's major. I mean, if you're that advanced in math, chances are you're going to need to take those classes at the college level, and it's great that this would count as credit towards some sort of math majors.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I just had a quick clarification. On Advanced Dance 2, I think I heard you mention that if you were to take it, Advanced Dance 1, junior year first semester and advanced dance 2 your second semester, you'd be then able to do advanced dance 2 your senior year?
Correct.
Okay. And then on calculus 3, that total course fee, is that including the textbook and cost per credit hour?
So that's a great question. So the current textbook is an open source. So the actual primary text, there is no cost. So this cost is the cost right now, the supplemental like workbook to work along, and the Wabanzi dual credit fee. So the $70 course fee would include that essentially tuition credit fee plus the supplemental resource. And then there is no cost for the primary resource, so it would just be $70 all inclusive of both the credit fee and the resource fee.
Okay.
It's a great question.
And just a quick comment, I was talking to a lot of students that I know personally, students I don't know, and bringing up these courses with them, and a lot of them were really excited, particularly about Calculus 3 and cybersecurity. I know various students who have finished Calculus BC in their junior year, they're out of math courses, and they want to stay in clubs like Mu Alpha Theta, so Calculus 3 was a really great option. And so is cybersecurity as a PLTW course, just to kind of extend that kind of specialization with technology and programming and that field. So that was just a comment that I wanted to make. A lot of students are really excited, particularly about those two courses as well.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Thank you. All right, item 8.1 is a hearing and a no trespass order. The board's attorney, Maureen Lemon, will be addressing this item. Maureen?
Thank you, Dr. Sparlin. Board Policy 8:30 addresses visitors to and conduct on school property. And it says that the school district expects mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among all individuals on school property or at a school event. And it lists 16 specific acts that are prohibited, including striking, injuring, threatening, harassing, or intimidating a staff member, board member, sports official, or coach, or any other person, or behaving in an unsportsmanlike manner, or using vulgar or obscene language. And it goes on from there. You have policies that address if staff members ever engage in any of these activities. You have policies that address if students engage in any of these activities. This policy 8:30 is the policy that addresses when community members and or parents engage in these activities. And this evening, we are here because there was a parent who was at Oswego East High School several weeks ago who was verbally threatening and lunging at the principal. Now, you'll also see in policy 8:30, there is a process by which that person may not be denied admission to any school event or school without being provided an opportunity to a hearing before the board. But they can waive that hearing. And Ms. Patterson has confirmed that the parent involved in this situation has waived the opportunity to have a hearing before the board. So at this time, it's my recommendation that you go to 8.2 and consider the approval of the no trespass order, which would be with respect to Oswego East High School and all of its activities through the end of the current school year.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. I don't know if everybody's checking. My phone was buzzing like crazy, and everybody is saying that no one can hear on the other end. So if everybody can speak into the microphones, that would be helpful.
All right. My question is, how would this affect a graduation if it were not at Oswego East High School, or an event that were not at Oswego East High School?
If it is, let's look at the language.
Which clearly I should have asked before now. I just thought that.
As it's written, it is only on the grounds of Oswego East High School.
Okay.
Any other questions for Maureen on item 8.1? Hearing none, we can go ahead and move to item 8.2, approval of no trespass order.
I make a motion to approve the no trespass order as presented.
Mrs. Croner,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Dr. Marino,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson, Mrs. Doyle,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Nine point one, approval of destruction of the audio recordings of the closed session meetings. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the destruction of the audio recordings of the closed session meetings from November 11th, 2019 through April 6th of 2020.
Second.
Mrs. Croner,
Aye.
Dr. Marino,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson,
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. 9.2, approval of the possible release of closed session minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the release of the following closed session minutes, which no longer require confidential treatment and will be made available for public inspection, as discussed in closed session, November 16th, 2020.
Second.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle,
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson, Dr. Marino,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton,
Aye.
Mrs. Croner.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. 9.3, approval of MOU with the OEA. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the MOU with the Oswego Education Association as discussed and presented.
Second.
Mrs. Doyle,
No.
Mrs. Swanson,
No.
Mrs. Croner,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Dr. Marino.
Aye. Motion passes 5-2. 9.4, approval of the personnel report. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
Mrs. Croner,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Dr. Marino,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson, Mrs. Doyle,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Can I get a motion to return to closed session?
I make a motion to enter closed session under statutes 5 ILCS 120-2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of certain employees and individuals.
Second. Second.
Mrs. Simulton? Miss-
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson? Dr. Marino?
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle?
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Croner?
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.